The following images are stills from The Little Shop of Horrors, directed by Roger Corman. This is a cult movie from 1960 and stars Jonathan Hayes. Jonathan Hayes plays a character named Seymour. Seymour is a clumsy but friendly young man who works at a flower shop for an impatient and money-hungry man named Gravis Mushnick, played by Mel Wells. As you can see, Wells' face is very descriptive in this scene, and you can really get a good understanding of the disappointment he has for Seymour. The story continues when the crazy dentist, Dr. Farb, calls in an order and Mushnick asks Seymour to prepare it. Seymour completely destroys the flowers and pushes Mushnick over the edge. He tells Seymour that he's fired. When Seymour pleads with Mushnick to let him keep his job, the look on Wells' face becomes pretty intense. The angle of the camera seems to be pointing straight at them and allowing the audience to focus on the movements the actors make. Audrey, another employee played by Jackie Joseph, and a customer who seems to be addicted to eating flowers named Burson Fouch, try to reason with Mushnick. In this scene, the camera is zoomed out pretty far, and I have noticed throughout the shop there are many signs hinting to affordable flowers, including the one in this shot that says 40% off. Seymour begs Mushnick not to fire him, and tells him that he's created a unique plant just for him. Fouch backs Seymour up and convinces Mushnick that people will come from all over to see unique plants, which will increase profit in the store. Mushnick gives in and tells Seymour he has a week. In this still, Jonathan Hayes has picked up the plant from his house, and his paranoid mother, played by Myrtle Vale, have a discussion on how his job relies on this plant. I like the chemistry between these two actors, and Vale seems to really play eccentric well. The angle of this shot was done really well. You can clearly see each actor and their expressions, but it doesn't overshadow each other. In this scene, the four of them are examining the plant, which Seymour explains is named Audrey Jr. Mushnick doesn't have much confidence that the plant will survive. Seymour, determined, spends the night in the shop with the plant. In this scene, Seymour had just discovered Audrey Jr. could talk and fed off blood. He pricks his fingers and shakes drops of blood into the plant's mouth. I felt the direction of the camera wasn't placed well in this scene, and the obsolete plant next to Seymour is quite a distraction. When Seymour returned to work the next day, the plant had grown almost a foot, and Mushnick was thrilled. However, only moments later, the plant seemed to be dead again. You can note the disappointment on Wells' face and the confusion on Hayes' face. Again in the background is another sign. Seymour was unsure what to do, so he decided to take a walk to come up with an idea. But while he was out, he accidentally hits a man in the head and causes him to fall onto railroad tracks. Unfortunately, there was an oncoming train. In this particular still, Seymour is trying to get rid of the body and attempts to put him in a hearse. But when he discovers there's already a dead body in there, he runs off with the other body in tow. I found the lighting in this scene to be too dark and wish Corman had brightened it up some. I truly love this still. The lighting is perfect and the camera is zoomed in exactly right. It's the first time so far in the movie that you really get a good look at the plant. This is truly a brilliant shot. The lighting is great, and I really like the setting with the flowers in the background. You can see the disturbance on Hayes' face as he feeds Audrey Jr. the hand of an innocent man that he killed. In this scene, Mushnick witnesses Seymour feeding the plant body parts. You can tell in Wells' eyes how horrific it was for him to witness this, and how disturbed he was as well. Mushnick was determined to call the cops and put an end to this, until he saw all the business it was bringing. In this scene, he's trying to get a confession out of Seymour, but Seymour tries to say he feeds the plant bugs. Again, the facial expressions on both actors are portrayed very well. You can tell Seymour is not confident in what he's saying, and you can see the questionable and angered look on Mushnick's face. Can anyone guess who this cameo appearance is made by? Yes, that is a very young Jack Nicholson. He plays a patient who enjoys feeling pain and asks Seymour, who he assumes is a dentist, to pull and drill teeth without using Novocaine. Jack Nicholson is a brilliant actor, and you can see the insane look on his face in this scene, and yes, if you are wondering, he uses his crazed Joker laugh quite a few times. The reason Seymour was posing as a dentist was because he killed Dr. Farb in self-defense. Dr. Farb enjoyed causing people pain, hence the Jack Nicholson character. I like the close-up in this scene. If you can remember the size of the plant from the first close-up, you can see it grew an extraordinary amount. In this scene, Seymour and Audrey confess their love for each other, but the plant starts to talk, and she thinks it's Seymour, and gets upset and runs off. I really like the romance between these two characters. They are both naive and slow, but in different ways. They really balance each other out. It's a very charming touch to an otherwise pretty eerie movie. I really like the creativeness of this particular scene. However, I wish Corman made all the faces visible at once. Seymour was supposed to win an award for his unique plant, and all of the townspeople and detectives gathered around to watch him receive it. However, each victim began to appear in the bud of the plant. Seymour, scared, runs off. The detectives and Mushnick run after him. After searching for a while, the detectives and Mushnick give up. They return to the flower shop. In the ending scene, you see Seymour yelling at the plant and climbs inside. Later, Audrey, the detectives, and Mushnick find Seymour's face in the bud. Seymour pleads that he didn't mean it, and then the bud dies. I really liked the ending. It was different from your typical Hollywood ending. Even though Seymour never meant to kill anyone, he still paid for it.